Hi everyone and welcome to my channel. My name is Carly and you're watching Sewscape. Today I'm going to be showing you guys everything I made from the June issue of Berta Style. So I had a super productive sewing month this month. Normally I sew about 4 things a month. This month I sewed 6 things, actually 7, but one was a complete fail. I made the corset top from this issue, but I made it way too tight. The measurements I made too small of a size, and I'd like to make it again, but I'm not sure if I would really wear it with anything like high-waisted, and that's mostly what I wear. So I'll have to think about that one, but apart from that, I love everything that I made this month, and it is going to be like my quintessential summer wardrobe, so I can't wait to wear all these things. I made some work appropriate and some beach appropriate wear, and I can't wait to show them all to you. So the first dress that I want to show you guys is Lyocell dress 118. I made this dress out of a viscose fabric that has this ditzy floral daisy print on it. I got this fabric from my mother-in-law. I traded her a haircut for a fabric shopping spree, and she treated me to this, which is so nice. And I'm so grateful to finally have used it and have this garment in my stash, or this fabric out of my stash and garment in my wardrobe. So this dress, I accidentally traced out the biggest size. I didn't realize it was in the extended size range. So I traced out a size 48 instead of a 44. And I left the skirt alone, but I ended up taking in the bodice about 1 inch just to kind of make it fit me better. And I love how this turned out. I didn't, change the dart or anything like that. I just kind of took that inch out, I think on either side seam. But it turned out great, and I love it. It's really nice and airy and floaty. And I feel like this is going to be a really important part of my wardrobe this summer, just throwing it on, going to the beach. So the first time I actually wore this dress, I was getting out of my husband's truck, and the little seat adjuster handle thingy grabbed my dress and ripped a hole in the back of it. And you wouldn't believe it, the second time I got out of his truck the same day, the exact same thing happened. So I ripped 2 holes in the butt of this. So I had to do some mending and did some interfacing and just pieced it back together, and it looks fine now. This next top that I made is Cotton Top 123. And I made this out of a leftover piece of a curtain that my cousin actually gave to me. I think she hemmed her curtains, and this was just the leftover at the bottom. And I love the geometric print, and I tried to do as good as pattern matching as I could manage, and I think it turned out pretty good. The original version of the shirt is supposed to have a peplum on the bottom, but I found with the way that I normally wear my clothes tucked in, that just wasn't really conducive to the way that I dress. So I left the peplum off, and I feel like it looks super nice, super casual. I've actually even worn this to work a couple times. I don't know if that's super appropriate, but I thought it was super cute. So this pattern is supposed to have a zipper up the back, and I just found someone on Instagram who made their version, and they put buttons with button loops up their version, and I thought that that was really cute. So I did the same as them, and I had some perfect buttons in my stash to go along with this make, and I think it turned out really cute. It's a little bit difficult to take on and off, and I had to do an alteration in the back. It was like pretty gapey where that keyhole opening is, so I took almost like a little like pie slice shape from the top. I think it was like 3/4 of an inch going down to like nothing off at the waist. Honestly, I could have let the waist out a little bit. But yeah, it ended up turning out super cute once I made those adjustments. The button on the top doesn't perfectly line up with the rest, but I think that's okay. This next top is top 109, and I made this out of a really lightweight cotton that has this kind of like Dobby print on it. But instead of being like a Dobby print, the Dobbies are, I don't even know if that's a word, Dobby, but they are these little almost like cactusy flower things. So it has like a green embroidery with little like rainbow Dobby bubbles on it or whatever. It's super cute. This is actually my second version that I made of this top. The first one In the magazine, they made theirs out of chiffon, and I did the same. I had this blue chiffon in my stash. But I found it was just so weird with the elastic in it being white and the chiffon being blue. It just did not look that cute. I feel like you would need the same color elastic or something because you really can see through it, or to make it out of like a white fabric or a black fabric. But I made a size 42 in this. I think it fits perfect. I may have put the sleeves on backwards, but it might just be the way that it is gathered with the elastic. But it doesn't bother me. I really think this goes with everything in my wardrobe, and I love the kind of like milkmaid style. The length when it's untucked isn't necessarily something that I would wear. I wouldn't necessarily wear this untucked, but tucked in, I think it is so cute, and I'll be wearing this all summer. So this next pattern is Cotton Skirt 116. I made this out of a viscose twill that I think has some polyester content to it, so it'll last forever in my wardrobe. I love the color on this kind of olive green. I did have to make some alterations to this pattern because I did not make the correct size. I thought I would make it a bit smaller in the waist and grade out to a 44 at the hip, but it ended up being too small in the waist and I wasn't getting that kind of wrap over coverage that I needed. So I picked the skirt apart and I added like a nice 4-inch panel to it, and it fits way better over the waist and I have way more coverage, and I just love how this turned out. And it kind of took some of the gathering out of the skirt, which I feel like really added more shape and didn't make it look like, you know, I was wearing like a potato sack. I don't know if it was just me, but that's how I felt. So I feel like in the past, like maybe up until a couple months ago, Berta's patterns weren't necessarily sized like for exact body measurements. But I found, especially in the last few issues, like if you're making bigger sizes before, it's time to reevaluate and follow their size guide because they are right. And this next dress is dress 111. So in the magazine, they do this with sequins, and I just made mine out of a viscose, and this came from the same shopping spree with my mother-in-law. So this has been in my stash for another year or so, and I'm so glad that I got to use this up. I think it is so cute. I made a size 42 at the bodice and graded out to a size 44 at the hip in this one. And it has a really lovely kind of gathered and pleated waistline detail. I found that I took mine in a little bit because of the lightweightness of my fabric, that if it wasn't perfectly fitted, I found it drooped a little bit in the front, and it made the pleats not look purposeful. It made it look like a mistake. I also added a slit up the opposite side just to kind of give me more walking room when I'm working or out with the kids. And the last thing that I made didn't come from the June issue of Berta Style. It actually came from the October 2021 issue. This is the culottes, the 106 culottes, and this is my favorite pants pattern ever. It's got the perfect high waist, and I feel like it's nice and tight over the tummy, but nice and roomy in the legs. So I measured out a 5-inch inseam and just kind of cut it off, and then I rolled up that hem and just tacked it on the sides. I made this from the bleached indigo denim from Fabricland, and I find this denim doesn't have great recovery to it. So I feel like when I put them on in the morning, they fit perfect, but throughout the day, they tend to bag out. So I remedy this by like throwing them in the dryer when I wash them because it kind of shrinks them back down to size. But I know that's not really sustainable for my clothing. I'm putting them in the dryer. It's going to make them kind of wear out quicker. So I'm wondering if I'm maybe going to add some elastic or curve the waistband so that it kind of fits better in the waist for longer. And that's everything I have to show you guys today. I hope you guys have the most wonderful rest of your day. If you're not subscribed yet, hit that button if you want to see more content like this. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.